can download the show on your whole phone, tablet, or your brain, your iPhone too.
Convo Cafe, suckers.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Convo Cafe. This is your boy Vaughn. Today I have Monique with me. I got Verge and I got Rod.
What's up, y'all? Happy Sunday.
What up? What up? What's up, dude?
Rod is a little indisposed right now because he's been trying to be a YN out in them streets, so he's still just kind of catching up with us, though. You know, that's why you can barely see him on the screen.
I wasn't in the streets. I was just hanging out with the little one. It's daddy duty weekend, so we just was up late playing games and stuff.
I hear you with quotation marks.
I wish I was in them streets.
For sure, man. Shoot, I'm getting old, bro. Virgil, no, when we go out to hang, bro, I have to like take a nap or whatever if I know we gonna have a long night. So
I end up driving.
Yeah. Virgil drives a lot when we go out though, because I just don't have the energy for it, man. I go to sleep about 8:30 every night, so we sometimes we get together with Virgil and them. It's just 8 o'clock when we leave the house. So you imagine I got 30 minutes of life in me.
He becomes my passenger prince.
Yep. Hey, I'm not shamed, man. I'm past that age of being shamed. Shoot. How you doing?
I feel safer in the car with Verge, by the way.
I'm gonna let you say that this time. It's probably the only synopsis where I let you say that, man. Shoot. You know, Monique should be well.
Man, these days you catch me outside. It's a trick to it.
I know, right?
Usually, if I'm not somewhere with my kids, man, I'm in the house.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
I feel you too. Yeah.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Kids wear you out.
Man, I know.
Man, you ain't lying. Them kids wear you out. I was just at soccer tryouts for my son this morning. So, literally every day of the week we have somebody's practice, somebody's meeting, somebody's this or somebody's that. So, on an occasion where I don't have that, I am right here in the house.
Mm-hmm.
No, I definitely feel you.
Them kids do wear you out. They mamas too.
We out here raising these middle class kids, and I think just based on these kids being middle class, we are messing them up. We're not giving them the life that we had when we grew up.
Yeah, I know. That's the biggest struggle we face. I don't even know how to do that. I'm trying to make my kids hard, but I don't even think it's
too late.
It's too late, man. It's too late.
It's too late.
That's not even the right pretense or whatever, though. You know what I realized, though, too? For a lot of us, our parents ain't make us hard. The world outside made us hard. So
that's right.
And you know what? That's dead on. That's the philosophy that I have. This world is gonna make them hard soon enough. And so, you know, while I have them here to be able to do everything I can for them, I will, because the world will do its job in due time.
Yeah, yes. I agree with that.
No, for sure.
You know, and
I gotta kind of disagree because my parents, bro, they y'all know y'all don't know them, but they hard. My dad was in the Navy, and he was, I ain't gonna say his other line of work, but it was legit. And my mom was supervisor at General Motors, and she come from down south, and they put something in me that like you said, our kids are soft. I guess I can't put that in them. I don't know if they had to get it firsthand.
Pause, bro.
But yeah,
I know you give it sentimental words, but just choose your words wisely, man.
Choose it wisely.
Here y'all go.
I thought since we had a guest, we leaving the pause alone. But
right.
If I gotta bring it back, I'm gonna get you with it, bro. Pause.
You can't talk zesty in front of company, man. So, but no, I know what you mean about that too. My parents, hey man, my dad was hard as hell, and Monique dad was definitely hard as hell too. Rod's too. But even as hard as they was, that ain't what, I don't know. I feel like the streets and what we incurred when we went outside. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of what really, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the world is evolving too, man. It's a different world than it was.
Yes, it is.
Just like it was a different world when our parents were growing up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that they were not as hard on us as their parents were on them. So there's these degrees of evolution.
Right.
I think that,
for sure.
you know what I'm saying, that go through
like
all
we
of
easing
this.
up.
Yeah,
As we go down the line, we ease up just a little bit more.
Yeah.
ease up in some places, but tighten up in some
Mhm.
other spaces.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. Yep.
you know, I'm very intentional about having conversations with my kids about interacting with the police and what to do and what not to do at younger and
Yes.
Mhm.
younger ages, and talking to them about money management, things like that, things that my parents didn't do,
Right.
particularly with the money management piece, just because they didn't really have and they didn't have the capacity to have that conversation in that way.
Right.
And
Yes.
we,
Right.
we know so much more now, and are able to communicate to our kids at an earlier stage.
I agree.
Okay.
And with that, I guess
Definitely
I
do.
should introduce our guest though today,
Yes,
man.
please.
So listen, joining us today is Harry Weaver III, Oakland County's new Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. With over 20 years of experience in DEI, spanning schools, businesses, and law enforcement, Harry's work has shaped anti-bias programs around Michigan. As a longtime educator, trainer, and advocate, and also a friend to me, he also brings a professionalism, expertise, and a powerful personal perspective as a wheelchair user. On this special Juneteenth episode, we are honored to dive into a conversation about equity, liberation, and the work still ahead with none other than Harry Weaver III. How you doing, Harry?
I'm good, man. You brought the full bio out, huh?
Hey, man, I have to put respect on people's name.
That's
See, let me
right.
explain. This podcast really was started, man, because I used to sit around with all my people, and one day I realized, I was like, man, my people are dope. I was like, the people that I know
Yeah,
specifically are dope.
Yeah, you got a network, man.
Yeah, man. So, so we really appreciate you for coming on today. You know what I mean? And definitely joining with us, man. As we had this Juneteenth conversation, though, with Juneteenth kind of being such a new, I want to say like a new federal holiday that's surrounded around black people, we want to just keep bringing some, awareness, right? Exactly. To the holiday and stuff. So, so we appreciate you for coming on for us today.
Man, I appreciate it. I'll say this, that Juneteenth became an official holiday in Oakland County under my watch,
That's
in
what's
my
up.
position. Robin laid the groundwork, and actually our first Juneteenth celebration, Governor Whitmer's office presented us with a proclamation and so on and so forth, that made it Juneteenth an official holiday in Oakland County.
See, that's what's up, man.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, thank you for being a part in making that happen, though, man. It's all for
Yeah,
the culture.
yeah.
So
It's all for the culture, man.
it's all for the culture. Can I ask everybody else, Rod, Virgil, Monique, can y'all recall the first moment you learned about Juneteenth? Like how did it, can you remember that? How did it make you feel when you first heard about Juneteenth? Do you remember that?
So I don't remember the exact moment, but I've known about it for a while. But it's only because of the homie Miso, because that's his birthday.
Right. Okay.
so
Okay.
so I've known about it for, I want to say, about 20 years, but I don't remember the exact moment where I knew, because I heard about it like once or twice before me and him met, but it just never really registered. It was just like, oh, okay, that's a holiday, slaves were officially free, blah blah blah, and then under being in that friendship, in that brotherhood with my guy, my homeboy, he brought more attention to it because with that being his birthday, he knows a lot about it, and it made me think more about it. And I was like, oh, okay, well this sounds like this should be official. But of course, back then it wasn't. It wasn't even on our radar really. It was just like, oh yeah, Juneteenth, and then we just went on with another day.
Yeah.
So
For me, it was during COVID when I found out about Juneteenth, and I'm kind of ashamed to say that, especially knowing Rod's been knowing about it for 20 years. But I mean, it is what it is, right? So I became a little more educated every single year over the past 4 years on Juneteenth and why we celebrate it, and the reasons that it's important for our community to really highlight the importance of this holiday.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's like I always heard like rumblings or people talking about it throughout the years. So I'd probably say like maybe in my 20s. I'll be 45 next month, but I don't think it was really, I paid attention to it, or other people around me really paid attention to it, because there really was no emphasis put on it until recent years, around where we live at now. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, like I told you, man, I was, when we were talking before the show started, I was a little embarrassed, man, that I didn't know, I haven't known about Juneteenth for that long, and then I realized that, like I said, a lot of people's awareness and things like that just came a couple of years ago. I should probably look up and see when it officially came at a U.S. holiday across the board or whatever, though, but. I'm glad that it's definitely a holiday that we celebrate, and the meaning behind it, you know what I mean, is very strong. Um, it, I don't know. I know this year I'm gonna definitely try to find out some events that I can definitely go to, and I also know that Harry, you have an event that you are organizing as well too with Oakland County. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Correct. So this year will be our third annual Juneteenth celebration that is supported by and facilitated by Oakland County. It'll be held in the courtyard that's in front of our county courthouse at 1200 Pontiac Lake Road on Wednesday, June 18th. So the day before the actual holiday. Uh, it'll be from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We'll have food trucks out, choirs hanging out. One thing I didn't mention we were talking about earlier, we also raised the Juneteenth flag at that event,
Okay.
and so that Juneteenth flag flies on county buildings from Juneteenth to the end of the month.
Okay.
That's
And so
awesome.
what I wanted to do in that, because again it is celebratory, and Juneteenth is unique in that a lot of times we have holidays um, that are dedicated to black folks or whatever, however you want to describe it, like MLK Day,
Right.
and we want to force it into this whole of being a day of service.
Right.
And
Yes.
Juneteenth shouldn't be that.
Right.
Juneteenth shouldn't be a day where you're compelled to go do some work. It should be the
Right.
opposite. You
Right.
should, you know what I mean? It should be you're taking time to celebrate and observe what the day is about. And so our Juneteenth celebration, we try to make it as much that as possible. Again, all the vendors and food trucks are black owned, so we want to make sure that we're infusing some cash into black owned businesses
Right.
in Oakland County specifically, but for black folks in general.
Right. Yeah. And for all my white listeners, if you really want to show that you are down with black culture, this is an event that you should show up to and patronize and learn more about the
For
history
sure,
of.
and it's American history.
Right.
You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? And that's
Exactly.
Yep.
so when I do this for the county, and we start having these conversations
Yep.
in these larger spaces, the larger part of it is that this isn't a Black history thing.
Exactly.
This
That's
is an
right.
American history thing.
Exactly.
And
Right.
if we would make it a habit of telling complete stories, we
Mhm.
wouldn't have to have Black history per se, or Irish history per
Right.
se, or all of these things. So if we would take the time to, again, to tell complete stories, then we could rely on our general histories to give us information. Unfortunately, that's not the case.
Yep. And
Man, Harry, I like that right there. That's a bar.
yes.
Thank
Make
you.
it a habit of telling complete stories.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cause that's something
Hmm.
that we don't do in society on a whole
we
bunch
don't.
of different levels.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because even with Juneteenth, we talk about it in a vacuum, but that was a traumatic time, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine all you know is being an enslaved African on a plantation.
Right.
That's all you know.
Right.
And one day somebody came and told you, well, that's done.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Yep.
So now, in the immediate, it's like, okay, bet I'm no longer captive, blah, blah, blah. But then when you start processing what's really going on, what do I have the skills and resources to do
Right.
besides what I've been doing and what my mom did and what her mom did?
Yeah.
And so,
Hmm.
and obviously there were a handful of enslaved Africans who had these very marketable skills, whether it be leather working, metal working, some things that travel well, right, that they could make a living with.
Right.
But the majority of folks, you look at just being in a position where they really are back to square one and probably doing things like sharecropping,
Hmm.
um, where they could still never get ahead and really only a step above being in their enslaved status. So,
Right.
I always want to draw attention to that and keep in mind and be cognizant of the trauma that came with that as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So just to fact check, to my understanding, on June the 17th of 2021, President Biden made Juneteenth, or June the 19th, an official holiday. Juneteenth. So, thank you, Monique, for looking that up, though, because we always try to get our facts straight. You know what I mean? But moving into my next question, though, and Harry, this one is for you. Juneteenth, it marks a pivotal moment in American history. How do you personally reflect on its significance, both as a DEI leader and as a black man in America today?
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of goes into what I was just talking about, in terms of it being a legacy for Black folks in America, because for the vast majority of us, that's where our legacy in America starts, in terms of somebody in our lineage being an enslaved African.
Right.
My grandmother's mother was an enslaved African. So,
Right.
people talk about slavery era in this vacuum like it was a million years ago, and it wasn't. And so now we're looking at a situation where Juneteenth becomes a marker, or a space and time that allows us to move forward. And by us, I mean Black people in America. It's a precursor to the great migration of Black folks from the American South to the North, which I'm a direct product of, and a lot of folks in the North are. So it's a pivotal part of the story in a lot of ways, a spark, or a beginning to what we kind of see as a modern expression of Black folks in America.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Me and Rod, our families we're the first generation of Northerners raised, though. You know what I my mom was born in Detroit, but moved right back down to the South and was actually raised there from a child to an adult. And on the farm in Mississippi too. So, I'm first generation city kid in my family as well too, though. You know what I mean? So, like you say, people think that a lot of this stuff was light years away. I mean, was a million years away, like you said. But in all honesty, it's not. Me and Monique, we took a trip to Utah, and while we were there, we actually went to the Ancestry Library and we researched our histories, though, and which I knew before, but I actually got to confirm, though. I mean, my grandfather's grandfather was a white man, and his grandmother was a slave. You know what I mean? So 5 generations ago, I come from slaves. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't realize that that's actually an actual factual. They just think, like you say, it's just something that's light years away or something that's fictional in a storybook. But no, it's really real.
Yeah.
So just to share just a little bit of background, I was looking up as we were talking. June 19th of 1865 in Galveston, Texas, is when they were informed they were free. That all slaves were free.
Yep.
And at that point in time, they released 250,000 people. That was 2 years after
Correct.
Lincoln signed
Correct.
the proclamation.
Texas gone Texas.
Oh,
Texas, go Texas.
So they just wasn't telling them. So they just they just kept it secret. That they said, well, they'll find out.
They say we're gonna hold on as long as we can.
See, that'll go to show you where we didn't came as far as messages spreading, because you couldn't put a message on Facebook like it would have been 30 seconds. You'd have just seen
right.
So, as soon as it hit an uproar, you would have seen an uprising on the plantation. You'd have looked out in the fields and people would have been going crazy, like the movie Sinners.